Welcome back to the Rat Shack, everyone. Tonight we're going to talk about the tool bag. This is a Veto XL. I've had this bag for almost 3 years. I started off with the LC and quickly found out it was too small for what I wanted. Jumped up to the XL, been happy ever since. Veto came out with early part of this year the Tech LC series, which I also tried and didn't like, sold it, and we'll get into why in a minute. But basically, you know, the LC series is just too small for all the stuff I carry. You know, I hate making unnecessary trips to the truck, and that means I got to carry a lot of stuff that, yes, I don't use on every call, but I use it often enough that I think it needs to be with me. Now the LC series, the new Tech LC series, when used in conjunction with the meter bag and the TP3, may alleviate a lot of that. However, if you carry the normal tools that I carry in the XL, in the LC, the Tech LC, you know, in conjunction with either the TP3 or the MV, then you have tools on the outside again that are unsecured. And the best thing about the ProPac, the Veto line of tool bags like this, is, you know, that it zips up and everything is secure no matter what happens. They're not going to dump out, roll around, get rained on, whatever. So like I said, I used this bag for 3 years, and no doubt in my mind, Veto ProPac builds the best tool bag on the planet. But it's not perfect. And the reason it's not perfect is because everyone is different. You know, not every service tech carries, you know, linesmans and diagonals and crimpers, plus wire strippers that have crimpers on them. But I do. You know, I carry all that stuff. And for a service tech who carries strippers with the crimpers on it and not an extra set of crimpers, and relies on those also to cut his wire so they don't need you know, diagonal cutters or clines, then, you know, if you eliminate those 2 tools, then, or 3 tools, then the LC would be a better fit. But I have found that I need those things and I have to carry them, so I need a place to put them. Again, to that end, I carry the XL tool bag. But it didn't fit my needs perfectly. It fit my needs better than anything else out there, but it just wasn't perfect. Everybody carries something different. Everybody has different ideas about what they need to carry, how they need to carry it, how they need to access it, whether it's in a zippered pocket or in an easily accessible pocket or on the outside or on the inside. And so to that end, what I've done is I've taken my XL and the mods that I've done, you know, over these past 3 years, I kind of refined them all down and got this bag to where I think it is, for me, the perfect bag. The mods that I'm going to show tonight are pretty easy. Anybody can do them. They're just, you know, some of the stuff is uncommon, but you don't have to use the exact same stuff I used. You can use whatever you have handy, or you can go to the hardware store and buy Home Depot, Lowe's, or if you have a little small town hardware store like me. So the first thing is, on the outside of the bag, zoom in here, a couple of things. Maybe that's too far. Right there is what you'll notice right away is the D-rings are gone. Here's a D-ring. It used to live here. There used to be another little D-ring that lived over here. Right here, see them? Woo! I never found a good use for them. Everything I tried to put there either didn't stay, or it just wasn't an optimal place to put it. Even the temporary stuff like sprayers and things like that, that I tended to carry into a service call, into a home, or into a building, and they just didn't fit anything. I know some of the guys on HVAC ProTech have taken these D-rings and squeezed them down so that their big mag light fits in there, which is cool, but I don't carry a big giant mag light. I have one on my hip, a mini mag, and then I have my headlight inside, so I don't use it. And you know, for me, in my truck, space is at a premium. Where the tool bag fits in the truck, it just fits in the truck. So anything on the outside of this thing really gets bulky and in the way and hung up fast. So you know, I don't want to be jacking around trying to get my tool bag out of the truck, you know, straining my back. It already weighs 30-something pounds. Plus, if it's hung up, then it's just killing me that much more. So pretty much everything I did on the outside of the bag was to remove stuff like this, right? So the D-rings are gone. Moving to the end here, you'll notice that the tape measure holder, the signature stainless steel tape measure clip is gone. And it's the reason it's gone is not because the clip was in the way, but because when I put my tape measure on there, it always seemed to get hung and come off. So it ended up inside the bag anyway. And my original intention back when I removed this was to take the clip out and move it inside the bag so that I could clip my tape measure inside the bag, and then it would be zipped up and there would be nothing out here. However, I never did remount the clip inside the bag because the measuring tape just fits in there anyway, so it's not a big deal. Moving to the other side, again, the D-rings are gone. And to the other end, what was over here was another D-ring and the webbing for the tape holder, which was for the rolls of tape like duct tape or electrical tape or whatever, and it came down and went over and clipped on, and there's a normal tape, you know, tape holder we're all used to seeing. But again, I didn't carry my tape on the outside. I carry one roll of tape in my bag, electrical tape. It goes in the bag, so I don't need a lot of tape in the bag. If I need to, you know, get duct tape or silver tape or something to do duct work, then I've got to go back out to the truck anyway because I probably don't have my duct tools with me. So I pick the tape up then. I don't carry the tape with me. And because I didn't, it just became something else that was loose and flopping around and hanging on stuff and you know, making noise. The XL is a big bag and it's pretty unwieldy even with the shoulder strap, and you're walking through people's houses and you know, you just don't want to, you know, bang into walls and knock stuff off, and so all that floppy stuff is gone. The only two D-rings left are the two that used to secure the shoulder strap, and the reason there is obvious. I gotta have a shoulder strap. Okay, so moving inside the bag. When I use the bag in like the, you know, normal configuration, it goes in and out of my truck, usually set up like this, and which I really like because everything still stays here, and but I can see everything and get to everything, and it's relatively easy to unsnap those and zip this thing up a little bit. But a lot of times, because I don't run service all the time like I used to now that I'm a service manager, I end up running out to my truck to get my drill or a pair of needle nose or my strippers, and so I don't have to take the bag completely out of the truck anyway. I just need to grab my drill. So by leaving it like this in the truck, I can just reach in, grab my drill, and you know, I'm ready to rock and roll. So what helps that though is what you'll see next is how I've modified the top tier of holders. And what I've done is, let me get some of this out of the way. You can see right here, this little piece. That is it's just a little piece of Kydex, a little piece of plastic that I cut and rounded off. And I drilled a hole through the bag, both sides all the way through, and I put a Chicago bolt in there. And if you don't know what a Chicago bolt is, I've probably got one right here somewhere. Oh yeah, here's one. Alright, it's a little bolt. They call them sex bolts, sleeve bolts, Chicago bolts, but it's basically a screw that has a threaded post and a screw. Drill the hole, put the two pieces through, screw them together, and it creates, it's kind of like a removable rivet. Anyway, I did that, and here's why. Because the top holes were so big that when I put my Klein screwdrivers in, they would just go all the way to the bottom like this, and then I couldn't get to them, right? I had to get my needle nose out to reach down there and pull them out. And I've seen other people's bags, and what they do is, you know, they just put 2 or 3 screwdrivers in each slot, and that keeps them off from falling in. But you know, that didn't work for me. I put 2 screwdrivers in there, I pulled one out to use it. When I went to put it back, the other one was down in there, so I'd have to dig it out again, and it just became a pain. Plus, what I like to be able to do is, when I'm not looking right where I'm grabbing, is to just be able to reach around my bag and go, okay, that's my flat screwdriver, and pull it out, instead of wondering if, you know, I got the right thing. And so individual slots allow for that. So what I did is I put this spacer in here, right here, and what that does is it just tightens up the upper level, basically. And what that allows me to do is put screwdrivers, whether it's, you know, my Malcos or my Climbs or whatever, and they all live in one hole, and they're all in the same hole, and they don't go all the way down to the bottom where I can't reach them. The most aggravating thing for me is having to grab a tool to fish out the tool that I need. And same thing on the bottom here, these bottom pockets, is I just drilled through. Let's see. Yeah, down here on these bottom pockets, see, you know, I just drilled through this first level of pocket through the one behind it and put a Chicago screw in there. And so that lets me have individual homes for my pliers, right? So now they're not all jumbled up. So I know when I reach around and I feel, you know, those are my strippers, those are my needle nose, and they just live there. Now the red handle tools, these two, they live in the same compartment, and because I don't use them that much, really, and I really don't have a need to keep them separate. But their height is different enough that I can feel and go, yep, crimpers, yep, dikes. So, but really there's not a whole lot of changes. You know, I did the same thing on this pocket here, and my hex key set Allen wrenches go in here, and then on this side I carry my service wrench and another small wrench in there. And again, you know, when this thing was in its own pocket, it would just get gobbled up and you have to dig for it. Even though it was arranged and it was in the same, you know, relative area, now it's in the same exact area, and I know exactly where it is. It's right here standing up waiting for me to grab it. Really, that's it on this side. Of course, I didn't do anything special for the drill. It just lives right there, which makes it easy to grab and go when I need it. This whole bottom area is open. This is where my bit kit goes. This is the Milwaukee Shockwave kit, and I like this because it has, you know, lots of attachments that you can use. For instance, this screwdriver here, the bit that's in here is part of the Shockwave series, and it's, you know, it comes out, so I really can have one handle and a couple of bits in my pocket and have a pretty good screwdriver, nut driver. And of course they have one here that's ratcheting. This is my flexible extension, and then the stubby, same thing. I can just pick any bit out of my kit here, slap it in, and I'll have a stubby 3/8. So I have one handle, multiple bits, and I don't have to carry, you know, a whole 12 set piece of hex bits around with me, because well, I don't need it. I need them, but I don't want to carry them. The other cool thing about the Shockwave is it's got this other area, and you can put different things in there, drill bits, whatever. And it goes in there, locks up nice and tight, and it lives right there. So you can see kind of this side is my everyday tools: screwdrivers, pliers, drill, some chucks, some bits, you know, most of the tools that I'm going to use every day. Also on this side goes my manometer. This is my manometer kit. It's got the hose and all that stuff in there. It's got its own little Ziploc bag or zip pouch, and it lives right here. So everything's nice and tight. And again, when I have it in my closed configuration and stowed, I can still get to everything. You know, if I need my drill, I got the drill, and I know what chuck I'm going to need. You know, I got it right here. Stick it back in when I'm done, stick it back in when I'm done, and I don't even have to get it out of the truck to do that. So moving on to the next side, get it snapped up here. goes in and in. So, same thing. This is how it normally lives, unless I'm out working, and then I'll zip it all the way down like so I can, you know, really get to stuff a lot quicker. Headlight. This is a Princeton Tech. This is the Alpha. No, this is the, yes, the Alpha. I think it's the Alpha. I don't know if it even says on here. Anyway, I think it's the Alpha model. It's great. Uses 4 AA batteries in here. Wicked bright, balanced, 3-band. I love it. And then, you know, the meter configuration. So this is more of my, you know, meter side and specialty tools and stuff that I get for the call that's kind of specialty. My duck knife goes in here. Crescent wrench. Of course, I got, you know, these are water gauges for geothermal calls. You can tell I was on a geothermal call. So I got all 3 gauges in here. Right. So normally nothing lives in these pockets. It's well, not nothing, because I got like my wire gauge in here, and you know, in here is my outdoor air temperature and laser thermometer. So, but they're relatively open, and so I can pick and choose what I need. You know, so I'm going on a geothermal call and I need my water pressure gauges. Bam, they fit right there. This side, Testo 435 with 2 probes, 2 wireless probes, and in between here is my mini pitot probe. It's a little bitty 1/16 inch pitot probe for getting in tight spots if I need to, so I don't have to drill a full 1/4 inch hole. But again, these live here, and I did the same thing down here. Is I put a Chicago screw, you can't see this one, but it's in down here, just to tighten these up a little bit so that the probes didn't fall all the way down and I couldn't reach them. That was the big thing. Pigtail. So you can see, you know, these haven't, this side I haven't changed a whole lot, really, if any. Zip ties, you know, my field piece HS36 with the remote and probe if I need it. Small screwdriver, nylon. These are my screws, spade connectors. I keep screws and wire nuts and old, you know, pill bottles or whatever I can find, and which makes them easy to get, you know, stay all in one place. Plus, if I need to take some with me, I can just grab the whole bottle and drop it and go. So that's it. Really, like I said, didn't make a whole lot of changes to that side. But here we go again, right? Normally it's stowed like this in the truck in the toolbox. And, you know, if I need to reach in and grab the meter, of course I may need to do this, you know, to get it out. But at least I know where it is and what side it is, and I don't have to put labels on the outside. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I added pockets onto my XL and how you can do it, and you don't have to know how to sew or know somebody that knows how to sew or buy specialty bags or anything. Because one of the things I did like, well, one of the things I thought I was going to like about the Tech LC was the bigger outside pocket, and I did like it, but it was still limited. Not because it didn't do what it was designed to do, it just didn't do what I wanted it to do, which was multiple things. Not just hold bits and stuff, but if I wanted to put something else in there, I wanted to be able to do it. So I've come up with a solution that I've been using, and what I'll do is hook it up and show you. So you see here, you know, on the outside of the bag, you have these snaps that are made for, you know, just what I had done there. These are rolled down and snap, and again, if you wanted to, you could roll this down and snap it as well. So there's, on the outside of the bag, there's 3 sets of snaps, and on the inside of the bag, there's a set of snaps. So what I did was, I went into my gear closet, and I found an old bag. This is an old flying circle bag, I think, that I've had for a long time, and it's either flying circle or spec ops. I don't remember which one. But you know, it was originally And this bag's old, so it didn't even have the Molly stuff on the back. It just had a, you know, like a fanny pack belt or whatever. But anyway, what I did is I just took some regular brass snaps that you can buy at, you know, Walmart or sewing store or something like that, and you know, they just use an anvil and a setter, and I measured the distance between these two snaps. Of course, use the right one. These are males, so you have to put the female on this, and pop the holes in it, set the snaps on there, and now what I have is a nice big bag that fits just like this, and it's much more open, you know, to reach in and grab stuff than the pockets that are on the outside of the XL, which are almost completely useless. But I have, you know, a couple of different size hole saws, a couple of different step bits in here, a pencil sharpener, and that goes in there. And then in here is my overflow for screws and spade connectors and, you know, things like that, so I can grab 2 or 3 pill bottles of spade connectors or butt connectors or whatever, drop them in here, and they fit fine. And you know, if you look at the profile, it's not adding a whole lot to the bag, so it still fits pretty well in where it's supposed to fit in the toolbox. But if I leave this on, which I do about half the time, then when I unsnap this, you know, right, this just rolls inside, and you just zip it up, so it's inside and protected, and it's a zip bag in there, so nothing's going to fall out and get anywhere. On the opposite side, I took the same concept, but this time I used a much smaller duty bag, and this is the Spec Ops bag here. And again, this one's been with me for a long time. This one still says made in Monahans, Texas. But this is a much smaller overflow bag, and you know, this is a good place for jumpers and leads and things like that. Or if I'm going to a job where I have to use hundreds of spade connectors and hundreds of butt connectors and hundreds of wire nuts, then I can buy the bags individually of the spade connectors and drop them in here, instead of having to take them out of the bag and put them in the pill box. If I'm just going to use them on that job and they're going to be used up, there's no reason to take them out of the original packaging, put them in the pill bottles, and then take them to the job. I just put them in here in the original packaging and use them as I use them. And same thing, this just snaps onto the outside right here, like so, zips up, and it just lives there. You know, you use it just like normal anything else that's in there. And again, there's no sewing, you don't need to do anything. Just buy these little snaps at a sewing store at Walmart that fit this size. And the snaps are pretty universally sized. You're not going to find a whole bunch of weird sizes. Just get some that look about the same size and they're probably going to work. Test them first. You can snap one on before you put it on the bag and see if it works. But you know, no sewing, no nothing. Take a little drill bit, run it backwards through the nylon, make a hole, stick the back through the front on, put it on the anvil, hammer it in with the set tool, and you got a bag that snaps on and off your Veto when you want it. And it's real simple. I mean, go to your gear locker, find a couple old bags you're not using anymore, go down to a military surplus store, find a couple of bags there, Molly pouches, whatever, raid the kids, you know, last year's school bag and cut the pockets off of it. I mean, you can do whatever you want. But that's about the simplest way to add good external pockets to the XL, or even the LC if you don't have the Tech LC. And you know, you don't have to know how to sew or get your wife to sew or anything. Just buy the bag, put it on, boom, you got it. And if you don't want it on there, you just take it off. Or if you're going to be crawling through an attic or where it's going to be tight, you can pop it off, shove it down in there, right? And now you still have everything you would have had, but it's inside the bag, and you're not going to lose it in the insulation or down the wall or whatever. So again, I'll show you this bag over here, how it deploys. If it's inside like this, when you flip it out, it just rolls out like that. You just zip it back up to the spot here, and now you can get to everything you need to get to. Or if you zip it all the way down, then it just lays flat on the ground like that while you're working, and it's kind of down there out of the way, not getting into anything. So that's my solution to people who want external bags on their XLs, LCs, XLTs, or whatever, and don't want to spend the money for the tech. But again, completely adaptable. You can build a bag, you can order a bag, you can buy them online, whatever bag you want, and as many as you want. Just put the snaps on them and they'll go here. You can even put multiple bags on, because like I said, you know, there's a set of snaps up here, there's a set of snaps here, there's even another set down here somewhere. I don't know how you'd ever get a bag down there, but maybe if you went from here to here, I don't know. Alright, next we're going to talk about getting in the tight spot.